Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this, the special boss fight episode of Kaz's Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament. It seems like our competitors have gotten themselves into some kind of a pickle, what with the roundtable being locked down by some aggressors. However, I hear rumors that they're getting ready to put together a plan to take back the area. So, without me continuing to prattle on any longer, let's go ahead and zoom on into the watchtower and the round table and take a look at what they have in store today.
Alright everybody, listen up. Here's the rundown. These guys aren't just some random squatters. These are trained pilots with a lot of heavy hardware at their backs. They're part of a private military company known as Kerbelka Industries. They specialize in advanced designs and prototype aircraft and weapon systems. It's likely that they intend to take the aircraft here by force, along with the design secrets the competitors here at the roundtable may have, to further their own goals and profits. But you guys are in luck. The Roundtable base was originally a test facility for various technologies you're all familiar with now, like pulse weaponry and stealth tech and stuff like that, and also for long-range cruise missiles. The prototype cruise missiles are heavy, but they carry a lot of boom, and they have an EMP blast attached too, which should short out any electronic systems on the enemy craft if they hit, including their command ship, the Leviathan-class warbird. However, that means we have to get through that squadron of prototype planes first, as well as the defense drones of the big mothership before we can try and take it down. That means 2 teams, each outfitted for their specific tasks. If anyone survives, we'll have to go fight the Leviathan, possibly with any reinforcements that didn't get taken down by the 2 strikes before. I'm not gonna lie, if these guys win, all your trade secrets will be theirs to do with as they please. But if you're victorious, well, who knows what new toys they might have in that wreckage of theirs. I'll do what I can for you all from the watchtower, but this is really all up to you. We can rebuild your aircraft, but those design secrets and styles, those are your own. Good luck to all of you. Let's get started.
Alright, so here we are. We're going to be making these rounds much simpler than your traditional stuff. First off, as before, the competition distance is going to be set to 16,000 meters. In addition to that, each aircraft is only going to get 1 shot at the enemy, which means there's not going to be multiple rounds of 3. So let's go ahead and get these things started. I honestly wanted to do this more cinematic, have the aircraft already flying around, start the competition that way, but I wanted to make sure everybody got, the fairest start that they possibly could. So, we're doing it this way. Just pretend that once the competition starts, that's actually when they're flying around. It'll make it easier for you and easier for me. So first off, we have the AC Liberator F5 with pulse lasers sent in by Maximus Light, piloted by Maximus Kerman, and the AFX 106 Mirage with pulse lasers sent in by Jim and Saw, who was piloted by Jim Saw Kerman. The aircraft are getting to their distances. Any minute, competition should start, and with that, it is starting. First missiles launched are from the very high altitude Mordred's, part of Spriggan team, firing their Arrow missiles. Arrow missiles are not terrifyingly accurate, but they can lock on in fairly surprising situations. And they do carry a hefty payload if they hit. These Mordreds are definitely a force to be reckoned with. However, it looks like we've got some AIM-9s zipping up to try and perhaps take out some of the missiles. Now we have more AIM-9s heading in toward this. Alright, we've got... Alright, and a Banshee missile. Banshee getting close. Banshees are not known for their accuracy, but they are known for their tenacity. Looks like the Mordreds are launching their single PL-10s. These, I believe, are designed for long-range targeting, although it looks like this one doesn't appear to be tracking on anything. With that, we've got the first missiles out of the way, and the Liberator is starting to make its way toward this pair of Mordreds. Let's see how the Liberator is going to do. Moving in with a short-range missile. Looks like it's tracking nicely. Gets intercepted by one of the Mordred's missiles, but it's being lit up by those pulse lasers. Breaking off of that one, now going for the other. Liberator trying to one-man army these two while its partner, the Mirage, is getting into position. Pulse lasers, a favorite special weapon early on in the competition. It's nice to see them getting used. Liberator still on the tail of this Mordred. Well, the Mordreds are very nasty fighters. They can operate at altitudes high above. Apparently, Max has called these the Master Blaster. It's not hard to see why. Liberator's still on the tail of these aircraft. Both are very nimble. Looks like we had something happen over there. I didn't quite see what that was. Mordred kind of stalling mid-air. That's interesting. Missile streaking on by. This Mordred looks like it's trying to light up shots. Let's go ahead and see how the Mirage is doing. Mirage not doing so hot, getting eradicated by those pulse lasers from the Mordreds. Liberator now all on its own. "2v1 is a tough fight for any aircraft, and against planes like these, it's hard to say who's going to come out on top. However, we have a missile coming in, destroying the other Mordred. Not sure whose missile that was. I didn't catch it. However, this could go any way now. We have parts coming off the Mordred. That's a significant piece. Looks like one of the engine nacelles has been knocked off the Mordred. This could be a Liberator victory. How damaged is the Mordred over here? More shots coming in, knocking off stuff from the Mordred. These are tough aircraft, but they're certainly not invincible. Move this out of the way. Look at that. Liberator still on the tail. Those pulse lasers going, and we have a solid hit. Those pulse lasers firing from extreme range from that Mordred's cockpit, trying very hard to line up some shots with what little control surfaces it still has left. Although I'm not anticipating any kills. In fact, it looks like the Liberator is lining up for a final shot. However, that leaves nothing to the imagination as to the fate of that Mordred. Looks like the Liberator is going to be heading on to help its allies. The last pair of Mordreds here are lining up. They're going to be taking on the Parallax with sent in by 32 and piloted by the T2 Kerman. along with the Electron Infinite Bondaries sent in by Geoplex, piloted by Geo Kerman. Well, let's go ahead and get them into the sky, ladies and gents. They have an airfield to take back. I've heard some rumors about there being a fifth plane. I haven't seen it yet. Neither has Kaz Kerman. He's been looking, scanning the skies, using his radar dish there on the watchtower. Hasn't been able to find anything yet. It's possible it has some very powerful ECM. And there it is. Once again, Mordred's getting their missiles off first. Those arrow missiles. Not seeing anything being launched from the Infinite Bondaries or the I swear, some of the names of these aircraft are very Kerbal indeed. And the arrow missiles are coming in. Not the most accurate, but they do have a lot of explosive payload. Looks like they have served their purpose. Just managed to be obnoxious. Now, there go those HQ-19 cruise missiles. Also not terribly accurate. But, again, if they do hit, chances are that'll be it for these. Very long-range PL-10 fire coming from the Mordreds. That PL-10 almost looked like it was trying to intercept one of the cruise missiles. Those cruise missiles are down and out. Looks like they're firing their own PL-10s over here. PL-10's very nasty missiles. This one looks like it might hit. And a miss. Now a horde. An absolute stream of PL-10s and, well, an absolute horde of PL-10s heading for this Mordred. AIM-9X being launched. Detonates prematurely. More PL-10s being fired from the Parallax and the Infinite Bondaries, just targeting this single Mordred. We're now getting into close range. We've got guns. Let's go ahead and get onto, I think that's the Infinite Bondaries. It's on the tail of that Mordred. These planes are tough. They're very fast and very nimble, but they are certainly not indestructible. How's that Parallax doing? Also on the tail. Close-range missile being shot, probably locked onto the Parallax. Mordred using those advanced engines to pull away from its enemy. Other one looks like it's still getting lit up. Trying to turn in on the Parallax. AIM-9 growling. Don't know what it's locked onto. Sounds like it also explodes prematurely. Something just went down. Uh-oh, we have something took out the Parallax. Really don't know what that was. It was probably a missile. That doesn't sound very good. 52 Kerman there. Not particularly well. Let's see if he can escape. Takes a a bit of a fall there, but he survives. Now all he can do is hope that his friend in the Electron here, Geo Kerman, is able to pull it out. The Electron is on its own now. Looks like it's coming in on one of the Mordreds. Very close shots. The other Mordred trying to light it up with the pulse lasers. Oh! Oh! Oh man, those shots are right in the center of mass on the Electron. This is not looking good. Still, the Electron has two engines. One tiny little tweak-scaled WS-10 engine trying to do its best. I'm hearing guns making contact on that Mordred. Mordred pretty squirrely. Where's the other one? That's the one he's chasing. This is the one on its tail. Look, it's fired a long-range missile.
Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side. Oh, no!
Wait a minute. It looks like it just took out its ally. Those AIM-9s. Very mean missiles. However, they got a lot of... They do have a habit of blowing up their teammates. Filmy Kerman not particularly happy about the target of that last missile. Infinite Bondery is now climbing, trying to close in on the Mordred. This high altitude, Saturns don't tend to do particularly well compared to other engines. Mordred seeming oddly unstable, though those rolls might be intentional. Whoa! Close range pulse laser fire. Geo Kerman still going away on those two engines. Definitely putting in the work that the earlier rounds lacked. That is 100% sure. Getting into a turn fight together, both of these aircraft very nimble. getting good shots. One of those engine nacelles has been clipped off. Countermeasures being knocked off by the continued barrage of fire from the Electron. %110%. Electron putting in work. Guns coming off cooldown just as they get into optimum firing range. Oh no! We have a collision! Mordred knocks into the Infinite Boundaries, knocking off a whole wing. Plane is now quite unstable. Geo Kerman is gonna have to try really hard. Oh no! Well, looks like one of the Mordreds manages to get through. You know what that means? There's about to be a 1v1 deathmatch. And here we are, the Liberator, piloted by Maximus Kerman versus the remaining Mordred. Set competition distance to 16 kilometers and get it started. Only one of these aircraft can walk away. Only one gets to move on to the next round with the Leviathan. Liberator showing its impressive thrust-to-weight ratio by taking off first. Mordred, however, pushing its luck, kicking itself into the air and high altitude with those prototype engines. Liberator is one of the nastiest dogfighters in the tournament. But can it hold up to the might of the Mordred? Aero missiles have been launched. How is the Liberator going to fare? Let's find out. Loosing a missile, AIM 9X. Intercepting the missile while also launching its own. That Mordred is dealing with the Liberator's AIM 9X. Liberator now looking to close in on the Mordred. Both of these aircraft have a deadly forward firing arc. AIM 9X chasing a flare. Another missile coming in. A direct hit to the... And the Liberator absolutely destroys the solo Mordred. Liberator definitely the conquering hero today. Maximus Kerman gets to go on to help his allies against the big baby itself. However, we still have to deal with those drones. So the first fight against the drones is going to be with the AFN, or I'm going to call it the AFN Mark III, because the real name is Your Mother Was a Hamster and Your Father Smelt of Elderberries. And the CE-5M2 Mogara with pulse lasers. The AFN Mark III is piloted by the fantastic Ace Herman. And the Mogara is piloted by Cyrus Kerman. Well, we're wishing them the best. Meanwhile, Kaz Kerman seems to be in a fallout shelter. Or maybe in a closet with the light off. Trying to hope that things go better. Let's go ahead, set these guys to 16 kilometers, and get things started. Mogara not really hauling much in the way of heavy-duty weaponry. However, the AFN Mark III is hauling a whole lot. Competition starts. Drones have no missiles whatsoever. Missile name for the AFN Mark III is far too large for me to read. And it looks like they may have exploded anyway by hitting the ground due to the angle they were launched at. Meanwhile, AIM-120D coming from the Mogaras. And... oh boy. Meme missiles firing left and right. Another AIM-120D. More memes! They're old memes, but will they check out? And that'll be that. Looks like we're getting into the full-on fight. Let's go ahead and, oh, God. Meanwhile, wonder what weapon they're using. Don't suppose any of you have heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Drones going ham on the Mogara right now. Mogara spinning. Not a good time to be spinning. You need to be pulling up, buddy. Cyrus Kerman there. Looking rather fly with his mustache and beard. Luckily, the Mogara is pretty tanky. You can see it's taking shots. .50 cal on the AFN firing back. Uh-oh, that's a dive toward the ground. You need to pull up, AFN. Pull up, AFN. Oh, jeez. Giving me heart attacks here. More stuff being stripped off of the Mogara, but it's still kicking. Look at this thing, covered in bullet holes. Still kicking butt. Well, at the very least, being a very worthy target. Whoa, and we have our first UAV down. Didn't see what that was, but I'm willing to bet it got chased into the ground. They do have a habit of having that happen to them. Let's see. Yep, right there, Leviathan UAV debris on the ground. Well, let's see how the Mogara's doing. I cannot believe how just absolutely tanky this thing is. Of course, now that I've said it, I've probably jinxed it. But this plane has taken so many hits. How's the AFN doing? Still dancing with the drone. Getting low on fuel. Dangerously low. Drone moving in here. Still just quietly plugging away the Mogara. So far, I dare say, I think the Mogara has soaked more hits than the AFN has. However, AFN looks like it's getting some shots on one of them, finally. Oh no! This could be its last shot, literally. Completely out of fuel. The AFN is out of fuel. You know, I am going to say that in this case, if the AFN manages to land unscathed, though it won't be competing in this, I will say that since it's not dead, it's still technically capable of being refueled and sent back into the fight. Mogara still just soaking hits. Lost very little in the way of parts. It will not run out of fuel today. AFN, however, getting quite close to the ground. Uh-oh. AFN slowly being picked at. Those parts, oh geez, this one's holding on by a shred of HP. What about this one? Very close. Ace Kermit deploying that landing gear. Moving very slow. One of the landing gear, however, well, I know for a fact that aircraft could fly without that part easily. I think we'll just let it be there. Now then, how's the Mogara doing? You know, at this point, I'm pretty sure Mogara could ram one of the drones and knock it out of the fight. It's got plenty of durability. Oh no, however, it gets a lucky shot. Well, while two of the drones have effectively won this one, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to the AFN and say that they can fix that wing and refuel the plane and get it back out into the field. Make this a bit interesting. But we still have more drones ahead. Let's see what they can do. I wasn't kidding when I said we had more drones coming up. We've got 5 Leviathan UAVs here against 3 aircraft. 2 of which are drones. The only one that isn't is the GAC 7HM, piloted by Panzer Kerman and the Killer Key and the Pegasus K-11 Mole Rat. That was ridiculous. Both of them are piloted by Anleet Kerman and Bowstar Kerman, off screen somewhere. Let's hope that they'll be able to pull it home for their friends. So let's go ahead, set that competition to 16K, and get them off. The key showing it is ready to kill by that red murder light. Feel the heat rising in the air and from my computer as these fighters get ready to unload their projectiles. And looks like we've got a nerd missile being launched from the Killer Key. Let's see if the Leviathan UAVs can dodge it. Not sure what it's doing, just flying off in that direction. Is it getting closer or farther away? Hard to tell. And it seems like the mole rat collided with terrain. That is 100% not good. Well, maybe there was a glitch in the Matrix. Either way, the GAC is launching some of those cruise missiles at the drones. Drones are now starting to scatter a bit. Yeah, look at that. The nerd missile decided to come back. And it's still going. Missiles living up to their name. Here comes an AIM-120D. Another AIM-120D. And a missile called Unnamed. Not really sure what that's about. Probably a custom missile. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on one of the Killer Keys. Looks like it's on the tail. Looks like it has a lock with something. The RNG missile. Looks like it's tracking good, and a kill! Drone down! Killer Key living up to its name so far with the only actual kill on the enemy. With those RNG missiles. Launches another one. Actually looks like it was tracking pretty well, not sure where it went. Zoomed off into the other direction. UAV gun overheating. Once again, we've got a growling from its weapon. Not sure what it's tracking on, though. Up and around the corner. Key so far. RNG missile being shot at by the drones. They are designed to shoot at everything, including missiles. That missile is behaving very interestingly. Circling around, almost like it's trying to hunt down its target long after being fired. Very cool indeed. Not something we see from most missiles. 30 mils lighting up. Not sure how I feel about that name. Uh-oh, we've got... Ooh. He is paying for its fragility right now. It's taken a lot of damage. Not sure how it's going to pull off anything with that. No more missiles, and not a lot of control. The GAC's still fighting up high, overlooking the battlefield. As the UAVs converge on the killer key. Not sure what the GAC is doing there.
Hit the brakes, she'll fly right by.
Ah. That was rather impressive. Stalling out as the UAV goes ahead of it. And now trying to turn its guns on the target at close range. Do we have a kill? At the very least, we have damage. Not sure. That is definitely a kill. Both of these surviving aircraft have gotten a UAV down each. However, now the GAC is by itself. If it can continue to pull that same strategy, things could be very interesting indeed. Let's go ahead and look at the drones. They seem to, for the most part, be in good condition, except this one, which is heavily wounded and heading off into nowhere land. In fact, it doesn't even have a weapon. It can't fight. We're gonna show, give these guys a little bit of mercy, or at least try to. Let's go ahead and, where's the fun there? I think it's in cheats, object thrower, speed, and pachoo! There we go! One less thing for my computer to worry about. Back to business as normal. GAC doing its best. Uh-oh. GAC has run out of fuel. The real question now remains, can Panzer Kerman get to the ground without succumbing to his aircraft's damage? Bits are very slowly being stripped off, cockpit still looking good. How are the wings? Wings looking fairly functional. For just a second, it gets a burst of speed. Uh-oh! That is not good. That is definitely not a refuelable and airworthy aircraft. That said, go Panzer Kerman. That didn't look good. I'm sure he's fine. Either way, we've got 2 UAVs. That means we're heading into a final round. And here we are, final against the drones. As we can see, 4 drones did manage to make it through. However, we have a refueled and repaired AFN Mark III and a second mole rat, which is interesting, until you remember that the K-11s were originally submitted as Hugin and Munin, two separate aircraft working together. They just took the spare aircraft, outfitted it with the same stuff, strapped a mole rat name tag to it, and called it a day. So, this is 2v4, vastly outnumbered. However, let's see if these aircraft can pull it off. And off we go. Drones maintaining a high altitude, commanding presence over the airfield. Competition is officially starting. Missiles away. And a cloud of missiles has been dispatched. Many memes. The meme missiles are being launched. Along with an AIM-120D. AIM-120 passing by. Memes getting very close, but not close enough. Wait a minute, we have missile shots. One of the Leviathan drones has been taken out. Another missile hit. 2 of the UAVs have been taken out by memes. The memes are pulling their weight. Amazing! Let's go take a look at the mother of memes. All the mother of memes have left are those guns. Still, this has turned the fight into a 2-on-2. Much better odds than they had before. Go ahead and get to one of the UAVs, see things from their perspective. Actually, you know what? We haven't seen the Pegasus K-11s for a long time. Not since episode 1. Let's go ahead and see how it's doing. Fairly well, all things considered. Pretty durable aircraft for its size. And much squirrelier than the Leviathan UAVs. Definitely much more dogfighter, that's for sure. When it comes to dogfighting prowess, there's no mistake about it. Pegasus K-11s are definitely the superior dogfighter when it comes to the Leviathan UAVs. But then again, the UAVs for the Leviathan weren't designed to be dogfighters. They were designed to be mobile turret platforms. And so far, they seem to be putting in work. Very slowly chipping away at the enemy aircraft. Ooh, Pegasus lost one of those wings. And it looks like it lost one of its frontal canards also. Doesn't look like it's too adversely affected by that, however. See how much fuel we've still got left here. In non-afterburning mode, 500 seconds. And however, less than 2 minutes on full afterburner. Pegasus still doing quite well for itself. AFN keeping those drones busy. Mole Rat lighting something up with the 30 mils. Dangerously close to the ground. The fact that it keeps getting so close to the ground makes me wonder if that's why it's called the Mole Rat. Uh-oh, we've got debris coming off of the Pegasus. Oh, never mind. It just evened it out. It should be fine. And we have a drone crashing into the ground. Mole Rat is still alive. Just out of fuel. This one, if that Mole Rat can land and without any problems, it's going to fight the Leviathan. Same thing with the AFN. It's getting dangerously low on fuel. AFN now out of fuel. Amusingly enough, the drones don't do particularly well against targets at low altitudes. It only has a gun on the top portion of the aircraft. Gear coming down now for the AFN. This time it's got all three. Will it be lucky enough to go for another round? A little bit of a rough landing, but a successful one. Well, that being said, we're getting reports from Kaz Kerman. A very large radar contact is starting to show up at the fringes of the battlefield. It can only mean one thing. The Leviathan is here. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with the Leviathan ready to fight, and our allies getting into the air to try and start the competition. Now, I'm going to wait until the aircraft get within the rough position for that before switching back to the Leviathan. After all, I want to make sure they are the right distance away from everything. And I don't trust the AI pilot to get everything into position correctly. So we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. And they're definitely far enough away. Let's go ahead and kick this off, shall we? And we'll go ahead and cancel the dogfight, keep them on the offensive. Switch back to the Leviathan here, and drop it. engines are at full, it'll kind of spaz out a little bit. But it is on the way. Just to make sure, we've got the radar and the turrets slaved. So that way they are functional. Luckily, it's not so laggy that I can't live commentate. And we can get rid of Vessel Mover because we're not using it. Huzzah! Right now, the weapons are still outside control. Leviathan UAV doing its best to distract the enemy as it normally would. Normally, this thing would have a whole squadron of UAVs trying to protect it. But because they were engaged separately, most of its defenses are down. Looks like we do have some missiles on the way. A whole cloud of missiles, in fact. Looks like most of them are, in fact, heading for the Leviathan. Let's see if it has the defenses necessary to deal with that. Laser defense system active. Let's see if it can take down those missiles. There's a lot of them. They might be trying to oversaturate the Leviathan. Drone soaking some of the missiles. Lucky it. Fighter's at a missile behind it. Drone is down. Comes a cruise missile getting... Nope, that's a PL-10. Not what it needs to be focusing on. More missiles coming in. These are the cruise missiles. These could be bad. Loads of AIM-9s coming in now. In a stream. It can't possibly get all of them. A straight hit to the front, knocking out some of the defenses. Leviathan now right in the thick of things. Has no weapon selected. Even though it definitely should have at least one of those selected. Wait a minute. I think its radar might have been taken out. Which means it has no way to, well, it's not dead, but it's still active. Well, you know what that means. Maybe I can do this manually. I don't know, but we'll find out pretty quick. Oh boy, I can! It is literally me versus the competitors, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure I am much crappier at aiming than the AI is. That being said, I'm pretty sure the combat AI on the aircraft is vastly superior to anything I could possibly do. Guess we'll have to find out. It's still active and on in the enemy team. I'll turn guard mode even if it's on. Well, here we go, ladies and gents. Woo! Instead of a salvo, let's maybe try the barrage. As funny as the salvo is. Believe it or not, this is a lot harder than it looks. I refuse to lose. Wait a minute. We've got lag. That's not good. And it looks like the mole rat tried to dig itself a hole into the terrain. Not good. Not good at all. Obviously, frightened by my superior fighting skills. Yes, that must certainly be it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has certainly been interesting. But ultimately, I think I could fly this thing back and forth 1.5 million times before even getting one single kill. These planes are just way too squirrely. Well, I think that's going to about do it for the Leviathan, ladies and gentlemen. It's crippled. The only way it can technically fire is by manual control. Weapon Manager has amazingly been taken out by a pinpoint shot. Even though it evaded the EMP missiles, even though it evaded most of the firepower the enemy team had to offer, the Liberator making sure to escort its target out of the airfield along with the AFN. Wait a minute, it's got a lined up PL-10. Wait a minute, it's getting awfully close. Why isn't it firing that PL-10? Gotta have it at least fire its last PL-10. There it goes. Getting some good explosions there on the Leviathan as it tries to run away to fight another day. Well, that was fun, and I did try. But ultimately, the AFN and the Liberator have effectively managed to chase the Leviathan out of Round Table airspace. These craft definitely putting on a good show for us all, having come through thick and thin. Even though the Leviathan lives to potentially fight another day, there's no doubt that these two aircraft have 100% pushed their way to victory. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, victory is not about who dies and who goes home, but whether or not you were able to accomplish your mission. They were able to take back the watchtower and the round table from the likes of the enemy. And in the end, I think that's a perfectly acceptable victory. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting reports that an unidentified aircraft is very quickly entering Watchtower airspace. Ace and Maximus Kerman have been called back to refuel, rearm, and get into the air. I don't know what this is about, but stay tuned. We'll find out. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Back, let's go ahead and get our aircraft into the air. The enemy aircraft is showing up as AFX-05 Mordred GNX. And it's quite a distance out. Looks like these enemy aircraft are on the way. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what they're about. Missiles are already in the air. Oh my. Well, this doesn't look good. Flown by none other than Pixie Kerman. The GNX is looking to put the hurt on our two survivors.
Maximus, Ace! Aim for his front air intakes. The glowing intakes, those are the weak spot.
Those who survive a long time on the battlefield start to think they're invincible. I bet you do too, buddy.
Too late. Game over, pal.
Looks like one of those special missiles,
Come on!
MPBM, came in and managed to take out. Uh-oh, and a direct hit with a missile.
Scratch one first.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like our Mr. Aircraft though tough, still done in by yet another tougher combatant. Damaged, beaten, down but certainly not out, the illustrious Maximus Kerman, his Liberator heavily damaged, but still flying blue skies, reigns victorious over the Round Table. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Kaz. And this has been the Boss Fight Special of Kaz's Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament. Congratulations to all of our competitors. Whether or not they were victorious, they were trying to hit far, far above their weight limit, and succeeded in some unexpected and spectacular ways. Even a plane supposedly at the limit of its peak capability, as the Liberator, able to take down a fighter in a clean shot, just like it did to the Morgans before it. Hats off to you, Maximus Kerman. And to all of you, stay tuned, because the grand finale of Kaz's Fighter Jet Roundtable Tournament will be coming up next.